Hare Krishna. This is Mrinal Ghiya for ISKCON in the service of Srila Prabhupada and Guru Maharaj, and the topic is, can anyone be scientific and yet spiritual? Bhagavad Tattva Vikyana. It is a science. Srila Prabhupada says it is a science. Just like in mathematics, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. It cannot be 5. Similarly, this is in, you cannot say like this is my God, this is his God. It cannot be imagined. God is there, but then you have to understand by approaching a Mukta Sangha. Mukta Sangha means taking the association of a person who is free from the modes of ignorance and passion. Why one has to be free from the mode of ignorance and passion? Because if you are situated in this mode, you cannot understand God. Your mind is disturbed. You are all the time thinking about work. It actually gives you a distraction. If you want to understand God, then you have to come onto the position of on the mode of goodness, because the goodness mode gives tranquility. It's like your mind has to be tranquil. Then only you can understand who is God. And it is it is a science. Like it is given in Vedic literature, and Vedic literature says anything if you trying to understand it is mental speculation. If you try to understand spirituality by speculation, then you cannot understand it. So it is said philosophy without the support of the religion is mental speculation, and religion without the support of proper understanding of philosophy is sentimental. So you have to come out of this things, and you have to understand it under the guidance of Mukta Sangha, who knows exactly, who understand who is God, what is our relationship with God, and everything is scientific. It is not something like it's a myth or it's a story. Everything is scientific. Krishna consciousness is scientific. It is given in Bhagavad Gita, and we have to follow this process. It is not like we can create things, or we can go to any person who can teach us. Like somebody says tomorrow, okay, come to me, I will teach you Bhagavad Gita, give me this much money. No. It has to be learned from a bona fide authority, from a bona fide person. You cannot go to anyone and can understand these concepts. In the market, you will find so many people talking about Bhagavad Gita, but then all these things, probably they will give you certain knowledge, but it is not bona fide. So one has to approach to the bona fide person to learn all these things scientifically. It is a science. Just like in science, if you want to understand biology, or if you want to know the chemistry, you have to approach to the respective teachers. You cannot go to anyone. Somebody says okay, give me money, I will teach you this. So it is science, and Krishna says who can understand? Who can understand him? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, one who does kirtanam, satatam kirtanam, who does kirtan all the time. And we have to approach such person to understand this philosophy scientifically. And it is there are karma yoga, jnana yoga, dhyan yoga, but through all this we cannot understand Lord. Lord says, bhaktya mam abhijananti. It's only the devotees who knows Krishna very well. So we have to take shelter of such person. And when we take shelter of such person, then we can understand what is devotional practices. Devotional practices is not something okay, fine, I'll do this, today I'll do, tomorrow I will not do. It's only consistently when you following these practices. There are certain rules and regulations, and chanting is there. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has given this holy names to us. So when we follow these holy names, and when we follow the rules and regulations of devotional practices, then we can understand this. This Krishna consciousness is a science, and it can help us to understand God in a deeper way, and it's not something that you can go to anyone and can understand this. So Yes, we can be scientific and yet spiritual, and we can understand God and make our life happy. Hare Krishna.